Hey there, and welcome to another episode of 9-Minute Big Life Mindset. So last week I got hit with 3 big negative experiences. One of them was a job interview where I definitely didn't put my best foot forward. One was where I failed a martial arts exam. And then to top it off, a family member passed away. So today you're going to hear about these, and also you're going to hear some tricks on how to turn each of those, or at least how I turned each of those negative experiences into a positive. Okay, so first off was the interview. I was asked to come in for a coffee and meet with a government ministry that was looking to hire someone for an engagement lead role. So this is basically where the government is trying to hire someone that builds relationships with their key stakeholders or partners. And the person also creates a roadmap for how the government is going to do this engagement. Government does a great job at writing policy, but it's terrible when it comes to working alongside the people that those policies are going to impact. One of my specialties is in getting people engaged, making them feel listened to, valued, and finding opportunities for them to feel like they're part of the journey. On the day the coffee interview was set for, I find out that my cousin had been given bad news from his doctors. He was told there was nothing more they could do for his cancer treatment and that his body had rejected a kidney transplant. They were sending him home to live out his last days. So I booked my flights immediately, knowing I would get through the interview first, then fly to Auckland to be with him. My gut reaction was to postpone the interview, but I didn't want to drag that aspect out of it and kind of keep it sitting around in my head. I also knew that the ministry was having to make time-critical decisions, and so I wanted to do them a professional courtesy and to meet at the time that they were available to meet. At the interview, I had one of those meetings where your brain just will not click into gear. I didn't feel overly nervous, but I know I carried far too much mental baggage in with my flights and childcare, my cousin, and all manner of things coming along to the interview with me. I was stumbling over words, nowhere near as sharp as I know I'm capable of being, and I walked away disappointed. They still had a decision to make, which would come in a couple of days, but internally, my disappointment was solely based around how I performed, not whether they were going to offer the role or not. You know, it's at times like those when we kick ourselves thinking, I wish I had have said this or done that. But here's the life lesson. We're overly critical of how we perform in those situations. We are terrible at thinking it's been a disaster and that the world is going to end. But it's actually not. A little perspective shows that even if it was absolutely shithouse, like we really stuffed it up, no matter how it ends, we will have gained valuable experience for next time. And funnily enough, the world will keep spinning. No matter what, we're more aware of it for next time, and we can learn from that. The second setback I had was actually a couple of days before the interview. So I do a martial art called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or BJJ. Think of judo and wrestling combined. It had been a 6-month goal of mine to get my purple belt, having done this martial art for around 5 years now. I put in some training to ensure that I passed it. My problem though is that I left it far too late before I started doing the training and learning the test that I needed to. This meant that I was rushing to learn everything just before the exam. Yeah, I'm sometimes that guy. You give me 6 months to do something and I'll wait until there's like 3 weeks left before absolutely throwing myself at it. And I normally succeed too. But not this time. No. I went through the exam and I already knew before our teacher had assessed me that I wasn't ready. That I hadn't done enough of the preparation. And so he failed me. Or to put it better, he asked that I continue training the techniques and resit the test in 6 months' time. I felt the air escape out of my lungs and disappointed. But you know what? I also knew it was the right call. I wasn't at the level that I needed to be, and so I had to take that on the chin. And so this particular life lesson is about hard work. Often, when I set myself a challenge, or I go to sit in an exam, someone will say to me, "Good luck." But it's not the luck that makes the difference. It's the hard work. Because the life lesson here is a very simple one. The more preparation I put in, the luckier I get. Finally, dealing with death. So my cousin died after a battle with cancer and a failed kidney transplant. He was 38 years old and he's survived by his partner and their 2 children. I came up to Auckland to see him after my job interview and spend time with him, knowing his time was limited. We laughed together, we shared stories about times when we were kids, the stupid things we got up to. We talked about his sickness and the hospital visits, the biopsies, the painkillers, the tiredness, anything. At the drop of a hat, I committed myself to being there and I paid no attention to how much it would cost me to go. And so here's the lesson. Never let money make a decision for you. Sure, you factor money into your decisions, but it should only ever be as an acknowledgement. And here's why. When you make these big, critical decisions, you or other people will always find ways to say how important the money is. But at the end of the day, and I don't say this lightly, but at the end of the day, it's only money. When you're lying on your deathbed, I guarantee you're going to think about the time that you got to spend with loved ones. You're going to think about the experiences that you had in your life. You're going to think about how you used your time on this earth. You're not going to think about the $200 you saved by not booking a flight. You're not going to wish you worked more hours at work. And you're not going to wish you spent less time with your kids, your friends, and your family. Thanks as always, everyone. I've lived through 3 very big setbacks in the space of 1 week, and I've had some wisdom drummed into me by them. And I leave it to you to see how you can benefit from my experiences and help you live the life that you want to live. As always, remember to click follow, subscribe, and share this podcast with at least one person in your network who you think might get some value out of them. And you can also find me on Instagram as well at big_life_mindset. That's Big Life Mindset. My final words today are one of my affirmations that I created, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, here goes. I wear my vulnerabilities like armor. The more transparent I am, the stronger I become. All right, thanks everyone. Peace out.